Good morning.
Yeah.
Counted 120 cases so far. There's no way we're going to be done by 5.
I wish that you wouldn't smoke around me.
I forgot.
Why don't you go help Bob in 3A? Jerry!
What is her problem? She's so psyched out, I can't even think about lighting up a cigarette without setting her off.
Jerry!
What'd I tell you?
Ah! Fire! Where's the fire extinguisher?
Hey, I got one!
How was I supposed to know? I thought a fire extinguisher was a fire extinguisher.
When it comes to a fire, a little confusion can lead to a lot of trouble, maybe even loss of life. Take this warehouse, for instance. Fortunately, no one was hurt or killed, but it could have been a lot worse because these people didn't know how to use a very important tool, the fire extinguisher. There's nothing mysterious about a fire extinguisher. Each one is a tool designed to do a specific job. There are different types of extinguishers for different types of fires. You wouldn't use a wrench to put in a screw. Likewise, each type of fire extinguisher is designed to tackle a specific job. All fires are not the same. I'm going to show you the 4 different types of fires and how the proper extinguisher will put them out. How does a fire extinguisher put out a fire? A fire needs 3 things in order to burn: heat, fuel, and oxygen. When all 3 are present, they combine to form a chemical chain reaction. Remove any one of the sides, and the fire goes out. Every fire extinguisher is designated with an A, B, C, or D letter code, a picture symbol, or both. These markings correspond to the types of fires that the extinguisher is designed to combat. Now let's take a look at each one of the 4 types of fires. Visualize in your mind the areas of your workplace that hold the potential for these fires. Common combustibles, such as paper, wood, cloth, or other organic material, are classified as type A fires. Fire extinguishers capable of extinguishing type A fires are designated with these markings. The burning vapor from a flammable liquid, such as gasoline, is classified as a type B fire. Fire extinguishers capable of extinguishing B fires are marked with these symbols. A live electrical fire is known as a type C fire. Fire extinguishers that can extinguish C fires have this labeling. combustible metal, such as magnesium or titanium, is known as a Type D fire. Fire extinguishers that can extinguish D fires have this labeling. Every fire extinguisher clearly displays symbols representing the types of fires that it's effective on. It's important for you to know the difference. To the untrained eye, most fire extinguishers look pretty much the same on the outside. But inside, there's where the difference lies. There are 5 main types of extinguishing agents: water, dry chemical, CO2, halon, and dry powder. Let's look at each. Water pressure extinguishers are only effective on Type A fires, common combustibles. The water from the extinguisher puts out the fire by removing or lowering the heat. To operate the extinguisher, hold the safety pin with a twisting motion to snap the seal. Be careful not to squeeze on the trigger handle when pulling the pin, or you won't be able to get it out. It looks easy, but in an emergency situation,
Extinguisher doesn't work.
carefully pull out the pin. Unhook the nozzle. Then squeeze the handle to release the water. Use your finger to spread the stream. Aim at the base of the fire and move the water back and forth with a sweeping motion until the fire is out. Douse the ashes completely to avoid a reflash. And spread the ashes out to make sure they've all been soaked. You know, it can be dangerous to use an extinguisher on a type of fire other than its displayed rating. This is especially true of the water pressure extinguisher. Let me show you the dangers of misusing this extinguisher. Using water on a flammable liquid will not put out the fire. In fact, it will cause it to spread. Water conducts electricity, and spraying water on a live electrical fire could result in your being electrocuted. Water will react violently with combustible metal and should never be used on a Type D fire. As you can see, using the wrong extinguisher may have a disastrous result. Extinguishers are marked for a reason. Dry chemical extinguishers smother the fire by removing the oxygen. There are several types of dry chemical, each with its own class rating. Multi-purpose dry chemical is an extinguishing agent for Type A, B, and C fires. BC dry chemical, essentially baking soda, is found in many household extinguishers and will work on flammable liquid and electrical fires. And Purple K. Purple K is a Type BC extinguishing agent and is most commonly used in oil fields.
Fire!
Whenever you fight a fire, be sure to stand on the upwind side of the flames. Now that's the kind of response I like to see. They stayed calm, took effective action, and got the fire while it was still controllable. The oil workers used a cartridge-operated extinguisher like this one. The large cylinder contains the extinguishing chemical. In this case, purple K. To operate it, remove the hose and place it above the handle. When the small cylinder is punctured like this, the tank is pressurized and you're ready to go. Dry chemical extinguishers may have two different fire ratings, ABC, multi-purpose, or BC. There's a big difference. That difference is the type A fire, common combustibles. The BC extinguishing agent won't put this fire out. But the ABC will. Of course, both ABC and BC dry chemical will smother an electrical fire. But they leave something of a mess. A CO2, or carbon dioxide extinguisher, is another BC-rated extinguisher which smothers the fire by removing the oxygen from the flame. It is characterized by its large cone attachment. CO2, a BC-rated extinguisher, will not put out an A fire, common combustibles. As a matter of fact, it could actually spread the fire. CO2 is a compressed gas. It doesn't leave a mess on mechanical equipment as dry chemical does. But CO2 does have its disadvantages. CO2, as it comes out of the nozzle, is about 110 degrees below zero. The extreme cold could damage sensitive electronic gear. This is known as thermal shock and is especially threatening to computers. The release of CO2 through the plastic cone can also create a static charge which could strike computer tape and erase valuable computer programs. And remember not to touch the tube or metal fittings after use. If you do, you could get a severe frost burn.
Done. Well, this printout ought to prove our point to Mr. Rhodes.
Oh, I hope so. Or else we'd better come up with one heck of a good excuse. What's wrong?
Do you smell something?
No, that's not the right one. Call the fire department. Oh.
I think we just found our excuse.
Halon extinguishers work by actually breaking the chain reaction between heat, fuel, and oxygen necessary to keep the fire burning. Halon is a gas that leaves the cylinder at a circuitry-safe 25 degrees above zero. It leaves no residue and does not erase computer tape, which is a real plus when dealing with sensitive equipment. The smaller halon extinguishers have a BC rating. The larger ones are rated ABC. As the B rating indicates, halon is effective on flammable liquids. The ABC halons will also work on common combustibles. The D-type fires are less common, but are extremely dangerous because the only thing that will put them out are the dry powder extinguishers. Dry powder extinguishers work differently than the units we've seen previously. These extinguishers are designed to completely cover the burning material with dry powder. In addition to knowing which type of extinguisher to use and how to operate it, it's important to know what to do in a fire emergency. Every fire should be treated as a dangerous situation. A fire extinguisher will help you put out a fire, but always remember these priorities. Your first priority is to rescue any victims. Then sound the alarm. Alert fellow workers and call the fire department immediately, even before trying to put the fire out. Contain the fire to keep it from spreading. Only then do you try to extinguish the fire. Always remember, whenever you're fighting a fire, be sure to position yourself between the fire and the exit so you can escape. Anytime you've used an extinguisher, lay it on its side, even if it feels full, to alert others that it has been used. Never place it back on its hook until it has been properly recharged. To help you better remember the sequence of this procedure, the first letter of each word spells race. Like many tools you use, the fire extinguisher must be serviced at least once a year to make sure it'll do the job when you need it. If the extinguisher's been used, or if the seal has been broken, it must be serviced immediately. Familiarize yourself with the location of the fire extinguishers in your workplace. Take the time to learn their fire rating. The best way to stop a fire is to prevent one from starting in the first place. Keep your work area free from fire hazards. Replace faulty wiring. Store flammable liquids in their proper containers. And keep the work area clean by placing oily rags where they belong. Each class of extinguisher is clearly marked to show what type of fires it will put out. Before you use an extinguisher, check it. Remember the 4 types of fires. Type A fires, common combustibles, wood, paper, cloth. Type B fires, flammable liquids. Type C fires, live electrical. Type D, combustible metals. The best way to fight a fire is to prevent one in the first place. But if you have a fire, follow this procedure. Rescue any victims if you can. Call the fire department and alert fellow workers. Contain the fire by shutting doors and windows. Then, if it's safe to do so, extinguish the fire. Remember the race procedure. Rescue, alarm, contain, extinguish, race. Remember, the fire extinguisher, when properly used, will do the job it was intended to do, just like any other tool. There is just one difference. This tool could save your life.